Sangye Chedan Soge Chonam La Chanju Bado Dani Japsunje Bagi Jinzo Gibe Sunum Gi Lola Panje Sangye Dubai Sangye Chedan Soge Chonam La Chanju Bado Dani Japsunje Bagi Jinzo Gibe Sunum Gi Lola Panje Sangye Dubai Sangye Chedan Soge Chonam La Chanju Bado Dani Japsunje Bagi Jinzo Gibe Sunum Gi Lola Panje Sangye Dubai
I take refuge in the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, and I merit created in this practice, and I attain the state of Buddha, the benefit of all sentient beings. But now until my enlightenment, I take refuge in the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, and by the merit created in this practice, and I attain the state of Buddha, the benefit of all sentient beings. But now until my enlightenment, I take refuge in the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, and by the merit created in this practice, and I attain the state of Buddha, the benefit of all sentient beings.
Kange to Jenny Zua, Tawa Danjan Bamene, Tambechene Danzi, Kodam, Telan Chaza Lu. Mila Jebe de Jigi. Ani, this one is. Then Nigi Gidamba Magon and Niji Ninga Tomba in the Sores. Anjan Anzo, Chichu Jade, Dungal. Gula Misevachine, Nibe, Dungal, Diba Migawala Misevachini, Diba Migawachina, Kodungal Jungiaza, Tele Misevachini, Te Paya Taps. Any Dewan Devi Gusin the Cheni, Devi Guvatuya. What at the Chivainata, Chichivas headed, Tendijilat, Chichivins in the Tendijivuares. Chazan Tendi in the Gala, Chik Didu Yoyade, so Semgitan Yonguare. Semgitane, any Chadamosum, De Wangi, any Dungaldan, Semgivone, Jembe Janju is Sembi Sochi, Nibe, Tonito Betawa, Nibe, Tanamidaba in Geniva, Wonje de Tola, Nibe, Chikaset Tubuchilo, Chikumjijuana, De Dani, the Gawatu Yachinguare. Indeed, Dugala, the young Chik Tepasamdi, Pejungo Mare, or Home Guare. What that? Nyamlen Machabayina, Tiba Sea Kampuchi, and Doyana Kalakawari. Indeed, Milaja with the Judy. Doing Nigi Pakipe, Sangi, Sunsha Jaki, the Damba, Chimachi, Matubina, if you tell and Joina, Pendoke or Maris, Tombaton Yanis, Gazing or Maris, Tavaras and Yamin Chevena, Logaro Jigla, Gundion de Gantazo, Hansom Yamin Chevena. Pentoy Shadiore, Yaman Magina, and in Nizitumba called Amjo Yending and Pentoke or Mare, the Keper Geo Martini, Yaminche the Kitchenboris. Sometime.
The great yogic practitioner Milarepa as mentioned that if you don't practice according to the instruction, then whatever practice you do, it's an empty practice. You won't achieve any result. So here he's telling us how to identify the practice of Dharma. And generally, when we practice Dharma, there should be two kind of components of in your practice. The first is that you are unable to endure the suffering, and therefore wanting to eliminate the cause of suffering. And secondly, understanding the necessity of the happiness, and therefore wanting to find the cause of the happiness. So basically, eliminating the cause of suffering, and finding the cause of happiness and happiness. So whatever practice you do according to this, this precepts or this concept, your practice is considered as a practice of Dharma. And so achieving happiness and eliminating suffering all happens at the mental state in one's mind. And if you have a full of negative mind or negative emotions, attachment, desire, hatred, then we can pretty much know that these all are the cause of suffering and creates a lot of suffering. At the same time, if you practice altruistic mind, benefiting for others, and if you practice, emptiness or learn emptiness, and also impermanence, all these, if you're used to all these philosophy or practice, then these will lead you to create positive activities, and thereby leading to the happiness. And so, simply listening is not enough. And after going through listening, one has to go through the next stage, that is contemplation or meditation or the real practice. So therefore, Milarepa is saying here, one has to practice according to the instruction, and otherwise your practice would be empty. It doesn't matter, where you stay in a retreat, in the mountains, it doesn't make any difference. So we have here, regular, practitioners or Dharma students. So if you, since you are coming regularly, if you try to, translate what you heard into practice, then that should be, beneficial and helpful. Otherwise, coming to class, every time and not practicing is kind of wasting of time. So therefore, practice is most important.
대바티 컴포지 차바이나 아니 맞지 점된데 순사죠 최대 뇽몬 둘이야 마파 매번 버지니 뇽몬 깨알도 편도용가 년가요레스.
Simply, listening to the empty words of a Buddhist teaching, instead of bringing benefits, might cause more problem for bringing more kind of negative minds or delusions.
이 간데스 용거잖아. nga 마시베 망보지 nenji 남에서 티셰야 망보지 시 심기를 파 마베네 nga 시기 ngargel데레기레스. 디기다 최디기 ngargel kel 펜바르마다 ngargel 조미알 펜요 마레스.
How this happens is that when you listen to teaching, you will learn a lot of new vocabularies about Four Noble Truths, so on and so forth. And if it doesn't, if it doesn't link to your mind, to your practice, then it might cause you more kind of negative mind. Like, I know a lot of words, and these are the something that other people don't know, and it might generate haughtiness, pride in your mind instead of helping you.
But then this is 가지 최기 조사르지 차바르데 고 로타르지 도 된 최년사도 달란데도 갈라 인도 가버진데 셈 녀몽라 둘이야라 팽요 말레스. 제자 담진 두아세데 녀몽 두아다 저번 두아 니체네 두아세데 티레스. 간지 룽아지 니체데 둘부와레. 리기 니체네 베 수보이나 미 통마데나 댄디고 말레. 오다티난 셈기 당기 밖에 녀몽데 रात जीवा चेने तीची भाई ना रब तो मजीवा दे मैं आसोगी ना सेम दे रब तो जीवा चेते सेम दे रब तो जीवा चाहो ना ती ता देवा देती किंटिंग रेस जैसा चंदे निरांग दो नाला सेम दिन बनी देवाला सेम दिन बनी देवान दिन से तीरेस सेम दिन दुया न्यूमोंडु ना चिक भागी सेम की भागी क्यों चौके न्यूमोंडु मैं आसोगे ता युंडेंगी चौदे ता कॉम्पेंडर हाजिंग की योंगुरु आसे.
Otherwise, not practicing and simply listening, it's although it seems to be kind of, from external, ways of looking, it looks like a serious practitioner. You come to class, you sit, maintain a nice posture, but there is nothing actually, nothing real practice in there. So when we talk about a training of mind, this or discipline, it mainly talks about two things. The first one is training of the delusions, and second is the training of the behavior or personality. And under this, this refers to training of physical and verbal behavior, and mainly the training of the mind. So the cause of the problem or the suffering is the untamed or not trained mind. So if you train your mind, that eliminates the delusions or afflictions. And when that process happens in your mind, automatically the positive side or the happiness develops or increases. So that's how you kind of achieve happiness, by reducing the level of delusions or afflictions. Therefore, in the sutra, Buddha himself mentioned that a trained mind has a happiness. In the sutra, Buddha says a trained mind has a happiness, and trained mind will generate happiness. So this tells that finding the happiness is ultimately its own mind, not something external. The root causes of the suffering, is the mind. We know this from our own experiences. For example, if somebody uses a harsh word or bad words, bad word to you, and if you don't control your mind, and if you kind of think over again and again, he or she said this to me, and this is not fair, and that kind of increases the negativity of the mind, and then eventually that will lead to the very kind of disgusting physical expressions. You might do something very bad, kind of the mind comes out in a physical expression. And on the other side, when you had somebody used negative words or bad words, and if you respond in a positive way, thinking that this happens to all people, and it happened because of that person's negative mind, and it's not something serious, kind of reduce from the very beginning, then there's there's no kind of following physical expression of negativities, and therefore suffering. So once you control this thing, the first in your mind, then there will be a calmness, there will be peace, and there's nothing kind of negativities of physical expression.
Tadung te gang la, pajo ge chi zubo lang ge mi de la, chi tadung o ko nyumo jawang de so ne a chi ningje sam de ningje ge sam ta wa ina, tadung sem de tu ya le, so se sem de ji de cha la, pen che du was.
On top of that, if you can generate a compassion to those people who are bad to you, then that brings more peace of mind and calmness.
제가 상상 초고네 시작이 지드비에 요레스 마랑조 답에 덴디 인도가라 레땅보아 애니베 직 타기 치 장행기 타니 베직 디키 요한다 미용세데 치 장행가라 망고치 투루 그레스 어다 대졸라 상문데 리스타 바이나 베 펜다용 그레스 어다 미 파존이 지 주불 라바다 미 파존을 룽아기 니지 주부 제바다 데라테니 맞아 저바데 저빙냠네 되지 그거라 데마나 파게니 두자질라데 스네 칸이 텔 독 소지 라베나 저빙냠네 생디 주마 사데 좀 된데게니 베 퍼지투는 저베 퍼진 송과의 기증기는 미도아.
So here you can see, there's actually quite high level of happiness that we can attain simply, through, a way of thinking. Especially for the beginners like us, we can achieve a lot of happiness, as well as we can achieve a lot of, we can create a lot of suffering, simply, way of responding to, good and bad words. So, so generally, the practice of patience comes here, when somebody used harsh word to you, or when somebody, express something very bad thing physically or verbally to you. That's the time where you should be stop and think, and then, practice your patience. And otherwise, if you don't practice at that time, then there is no other time for practicing the patience. So that's the same. That's the same reason why Buddha taught a practice of patience as the one of one practice of perfections from the six perfections.
어떻든지 이거라 간지 직하게 다 세기 최대 아주 장주세비 냠솔래야 레당보 장주세비 냠솔래야기다 라렌 숨주수드네 장주세비 쩌바데 라렌 숨주수드나 파가 전전 숨주수든지네 순샤죠 야즈 토면상 보고 때리 간지 제 최대 때리데 군주데 아마도 집안 지켜지 왜나 제 최 대상 군주딩이 갑마튼 버차버레스 그래서 내가 냠도 치지 군주대 박이 유죄 당과도 깨쳐버려야지.
So the text that we are discussing is the practice of the Bodhisattvas, 37 points practice of Bodhisattvas for the beginners, and composed by Togme Sangpo. So we have been discussing this, and it's been a while. And after spending all this time, if your character or physical, or verbal or mental behavior is exactly the same as beginning of the class, then if there's contradiction, then there's then it's not appropriate. We should have some, at least little changes in our mind, in our behavior, in our speech after going through this text. So therefore, one should be be more aware of how is your physical, verbal, mental behavior before coming to class, and how it is right now. So while listening, at least try to put into practice as much as you can.
어떻든 이거라 다는 셰데 다 발진 타마 아니 셰르기 발진 띠링 때 차려레스 딘디가라 파기 전주 나라 야스좀 지와라게 가르스네 옛날 니다 탐전에 투비 셰럽던 두수 세송을 옛날 니다 탐전 아마 아니 베 고온도 주샤베 에 진베 발진이 파기 3단계 발진도 발진 예 나보디 셰과데 냐는 셰과데 가르게 있던 다르잖아 베 파기 다즉 셰르기 발진 자모 똥반이 또에게 탑람라 디숭거래 세숭거래 제
So right now we are on the sixth perfection, that is the perfection of wisdom, and which is also the last perfection. And in the Guide to the Bodhisattva's Way of Life, Shantideva says that all the previous perfections are taught in order to understand, or in order for the six perfections, wisdom. So the first five perfections, beginning from generosity, then effort, discipline, all these are taught by Buddha in order to understand or in order to practice the sixth one, which is the wisdom here. So here wisdom refers to wisdom understanding or wisdom realizing the emptiness.
어다 tenri indugala 다 동니 또비 시랍시에 가라 신 랍도 제지기 시랍스긴 신데 다 바기 자모 동방이 시기 다 내루 가네지레도 다 도스체네 다제 땅과에 차고라스 다제 다네디 리파얀다 기텔람 바브네 다제 땅과라마토 다가수 다제 땅에 개요 말레스 tenri indugala jamolama tonga bachimbe 바기 장애레 신님베나 가르송여르잖아 riba gyata gani karsa riba gyata gani zubar se sesu kanche tongi de riba ene pe namda ge gone ene pe telam babu res tinju gala po chi karsa orta tuma roji gu sudu chade ora chhe chi ge tane nilu de chima chi jin jana chhe tang de nilu to thugu ore thar ki chade ko so ni diche na mado di yongu amare tendi nigala chi phage ngarazo rame mato bewangi oda khorwali chambare khorwali chamde rame gi nilu di chima jin ma che de oda tendi digi ani pe zamo tomba rame de nilu di chima jin de sheba ina khorwali tol tu gures oda te sungware ingu.
So here wisdom, as mentioned, refers to wisdom realizing emptiness, and wisdom which helps you to discriminate or understand the different aspects of the phenomena, and this wisdom should be based on standard or logic or reason, not simply not simply thoughts. It's based on reasoning, concepts. Reasoning, should be logical. And in the text, definite classification. The text by Tsongkhapa. In that text, Tsongkhapa says that one should establish the existence of emptiness by using 100 different, 100 different evidence, 100 different logics, 100 different, So here, when we establish the existence of the emptiness or emptiness of the phenomena, whatever approach that you come from, it should be based on reasoning, should be based on logic, and the understanding of the emptiness. There is a big difference between the understanding of the nature of the understanding of the emptiness of phenomena and the nature of the understanding of the method side. So method and the wisdom. So on the wisdom side, if you understand the emptiness of the one phenomena, then you pretty much understand the emptiness of all phenomena. The expression you use for this one is understanding the many entities through one taste. So if you taste one, if you have a taste of one phenomena, then you have a taste of all phenomena. Refers to if you have an understanding of emptiness of one phenomena, you have an understanding of emptiness of all phenomena. While on the method side, to understand the method, bodhicitta or altruistic mind, compassion, you have to go through step by step, understand, each one by one individually, not kind of understanding one and understanding all together, like in emptiness. So here, because of the lack of understanding of selflessness, we are still in cyclic existence, and therefore, if you understand the selflessness of the phenomena, or understand the emptiness of the self and phenomena, that will liberate you from a cyclic existence.
Tongni am tondan demba sinde kandeji le sigor zena junju nal de za tondam loi chemi loni kuzo imbar de se sungwa ti kardana tondam loi chemi me se de tondan demba tomba ni ji singi de tengyo re Loni kunzo yimbar desi kunzo de bisingi tengore. Te kandese de na rangus do bello rangi ninang nubi sugi togen chijila tondam den baas. Rangus to be lue ninang de chibi sugi ngarang su tanda chik phage ninang de sugi to bar chawade kunzo de baas go. Kunzo de baas ngi ninang de chibi ngus to be lote ninang inde. Ta chesa ninang de la sumre 유일쟁기 나와지데 양치스 나와지데 던지 나와지데 디숨 강루주나 니나 징길로 차차래 보다 텐데 니나 인친제데 군서된 바래 되어래 대마인 바다 직 parche mela me zingorla 유일쟁기 니나가 요 말에 그때 취나는 출라나 하고미도 때나지 거기 유른디 유일쟁데 뭐셔야 메가 잠못 동바니다다 직 거기 parche mela 냠자 이시딩이 추는 추자바나 진짜 아니 배 냠자 남카도 똥바 똥상 그런 지마도 유대일쟁이 나와도 균이 용거 말 되는 된지 나와 놓사래 양치기 나와대 놓사래 니나 순간 놓사래 퍼센트면 몰라 어다 제가 퍼센트면 유유기르베 답에 최지라 아니 돈담데 마시 거래 돈이 무슨도 또바 또야돼 거기 돈한 퍼센트면 만도 또구미도 어다지 디바이즈를 투디어 투사대
Emptiness and ultimate truth. In the text here, the practice of the Bodhisattva's way of life by Shantideva, Bodhicharya of thought, Shantideva gives the meaning of the true truth, the ultimate and the conventional truth. And the conventional truth here, Shantideva says that conventional truth is not the object of the observation of the mind. And the mind itself is the conventional truth. So ultimate truth is not the something, object of the observation of the mind, while conventional truth is, while the mind is the conventional truth. So here what Shantideva is saying is that the different differences between conventional truth and ultimate truth. The ultimate truth, when you realize or when you perceive the phenomena, there is no dual conception, no dual conception or no dual mind. So without dual mind, when mind perceives a phenomena, it is considered as an ultimate truth. And the conventional truth is perceiving of the phenomena in two ways, in two different nature. So, the dual or combination here, there are three different levels. First one is understanding the phenomena directly. And second is understanding the phenomena from the distant. And third is understanding through a generic image. So the meaning here is that when you have an understanding of the emptiness, which the practitioner attains at the path of seeing, uninterrupted path of seeing. So when you attain the uninterrupted path of seeing, you realize, you achieve the direct realization of emptiness. And when you achieve that level, you don't perceive two dual or two phenomena. That is, you don't perceive two different, like object and subject. Object and subject is same. It's the expression used here is adding a water on a water. So for a person who has a realization of emptiness, they don't perceive subject and the object as two different phenomena. Rather, it's just a one.
Oda dosjene. Dini chik bhage ta kunzo bin tanang ananzu nayade kunzo bin nanzu yujing yangche so nangge yore or ninang da chede kanga tunji nawa ngaso leti yore 유지 양치서 나와 가자리 비어래 오다 직 된디 이데가라 나한테 나한테 강가 군소be 나와마도 돈담에 나와 쟁이요 말이지 오다 동이 라냠 직 동이 바게 인디지디가라 또바 포야 돼 냠자니 냠잘 보고 가래 냠자니 제도라 람도 랑요도가라 제도 이시디기 동이 또 인디가라 바게 렌동 유마타비 다 동이데 제도 발라 또 가래 냠자래 야 당송 고달라 다 냠자 갈고 나라 니베 바게 양치수 나와 나와데 눕사비 요 말와 메티가라타 제도라나 양치수 나와다 유일쟁이 남데 강가 레용거데 이나 아티 나란도다 나라 뎀버메바 라징이 머투바레 섬네 나와데 나라 뎀버메베 된동 유마타비 다 동바니데 제도 이시 또고레스 냠자네 야 나웨 제도 이시라 또고레스 텐데 제버
So for us, there is a dual perception or conception. That means, when we look at the phenomena, we perceive there is a distance between, the object and the subject. And we see, we have a dual appearance that, object is totally different from the subject. Its mind is totally different from whatever phenomena that you are perceiving. But for practitioners who have understanding of emptiness, as mentioned before, they don't perceive the dual. They don't have a dual appearance, and how they develop from one stage to another is at the time of meditative equipoise. When they are meditating, at that time they. So generally, when you meditate, there's a two kind of alternative stage. One is, you are on the meditation stage or meditative equipoise, and the second one is aftermath of meditation. You wake up from meditation, and at the time of meditative equipoise, you kind of, you achieve higher level of, stage, while still at, meditation. So practitioners, when meditating. Meditative equipoise, and then aftermath, a period, two kind of session or two period, and aftermath, session when they wake up from meditation, first they have a feeling that there's a differences. They have kind of appearance like us. Subject is different from object. Mind is different from phenomena. But when they think more, then they have a real understanding that this is just an illusion. This is not, a real nature of the phenomena. So through that way, they realize that, illusion of the phenomena, that this is simply an illusion. And so at the stage of aftermath, they realize, that all phenomena are just like illusion.
All those chene. Tak muni samudangina tak chik tagi luben jiwala ke sungsar ke tondan de betsin kunzo de betsini to sam pe susu shula pa de thoni samudang ne toni phagi tondan de basing de kande jin ani pe kunzo de basing de kande jin oda do se samudang de gan la da pe toni ani tenlam ba la te kondo juna jin riba yata ke ne zubat des ribe namda tha ye bigone enbe phagi tongi te telamba pejin telamba ne figyo ma chomden de ngama ni telamba sara lo ni dong ab ya la sin du wa tanda telamba se de so se semi dang telamba ne semi dang phagi riba yang da riba te gi chi semi dang tongi gi ne ba ya shi gu wa te chen da telamba ba ne pejin ngama ke ba ma bu ji sar te jam gi phingyo ma re so semla ta ti chinde de riba de la ani pe ribi jabo tenjung tendil gi tensi le ota pe chi du de gi tensi ota tensi pe virgin zeme tensi mangbo ya ik dani ngazo london judu gan la rosa london de arandel yore to so lo yang to ani pe tendi chi bai na tin phengi ya ta ribi jabo tendil tensi se ga de karjana tendel se di gala tendel de la thara mangpure oda pena ribar ji ko ina chujin zungyu de ta Tishi Shaba Zuna Digre, Nugu Zuna Digre, Jingobo Kandina. Nugu Che, Zember Mete, Tendelin Base, Zember Matute. Tende Kodigala, oh, Tendella, Demigi Kavang, they can you are, me Pajotela. To Sadela, Rana, Susu Takoguina, Susula, Demeina, Tendelina, Deme Ingure, Zember to your mare. Zember to Mayane, Zembichi to Guriani, Zembit to Matu, Tini Karo the Tubudu, Tini Karo the Matuti, Zemba Matuvare. What a chance? Tendigi, Ta, Tendel Indugala, oh, Ta, Tendel de la Taramachagal, Yin Tendel Chior. Ani, Tani, Karsa, Chada Chajing Tendel Chiri, Titele Tar, Titela Tanyagi, and a bed, Tany dozen, Minkan Tayosami, Tendel Chikte, Tasho the Chadio. What a dose in Tendel de la Tindigi, Hebraeum Guares, Yin Tendel there.
You can look, more closely. The text by Shantideva, Guide to the Bodhisattva's Way of Life. The definition of the ultimate truth and definition of or the meaning of the conventional truth, and try to gain understanding of what these two truths means and what is emptiness means. And one needs to kind of establish, have a good understanding in your mind. And like Tsongkhapa mentioned in one of his texts, that one should use 100 different logical approach to prove the existence of the phenomenon, emptiness. And here we are not talking about existence of the emptiness and in the textbook. It is already in there. Buddha mentioned 2,000 years ago. But one has to have a definite understanding in your mind. You need to establish the existence or the understanding of emptiness in your mind. And to have the understanding of the emptiness, there are many different, logical approach. We discussed this before during the text, Lamp to the Path of Illumination, Lamdran, by Atisha. For example, one reasoning. The first one is the king of the reasoning, called reasoning of the interdependence. The main reason, logical means to prove the existence of the emptiness, or proof that phenomena are by nature emptiness. And the second is a reasoning of lack of many and lack of single. And then third one is Tibetan Doji segment, so Vajra prong reasoning. There are many different reasoning, to use to prove the emptiness of the phenomena. So, for example, the first one is king of the reasoning is interdependence. When you have that reasoning, how do you use that reasoning? Generally, in the Buddhist dialect, in the reasoning, you have three parts or three components. The first one is the object, and then reasoning. The object, and then the objective, and then the third one is reasoning. So for the example, we can pretty much bring whatever phenomena you have, say pen, or whatever phenomena you can bring. So the phenomena doesn't have or phenomena is lack of true existence, and the reason you have is because of interdependent. Phenomena is so there are three components. Phenomena as the object, and then what you need to prove is the selflessness, lack of true existence of phenomena, lack of true existence. And then the third is the reasoning, and the reasoning that you use is interdependence. So pen doesn't have true existence because it is interdependent. So this is kind of the way, way of a logical approach to understand the phenomena of the emptiness of the phenomena. And when we use this logic, we assume that whoever you use this logic, that person has at least understanding that if phenomena is interdependent by nature, then that phenomena doesn't have true existence. And the interdependent itself has many different levels. Interdependence of the cause and effect, interdependence of part and interdependence of part and main and part, which is more subtle. And the subtlest is interdependence of the name or designation.
어떤 데 이들가라다 세상 유진 된들라 규당 깨니가 하고라 규달라 아니베 린지 체켄다 녀랭니레 에 깬들라 지 카이 니베켄 미다베켄 요아메베켄데 겐숨 숨도아 데마임바야 겐 망고스 지 지여라 어다 두스체네 때네 용과래 아 가지 유베켄 코 춘체 가레이나 최대 깨지기 뉴베켄스인데라 간데지 구구아래 에나 라라 아니베 메이나 메기 제암 뉴바 살레란진 메둘 텔라 직 메란진 차와데 깨야기 뉴바야 뉴베켄스인데 인지미지 때리지 구구아래 에나 마나조 제마츠는 눔 용음이다 미어다 카라 코 제메나라 눈 깨기 뉴바데 메소 뉴비켄데 메소 제가 딜다 아니 용가르 덴디트나 그눈 퉁구도 그나 눈 깨기 뉴바데요 제가 뉴비켄스기 덴디기 이나미데 하고 그래 뉴비켄데 덴델레 뉴비켄스 거 미다베켄스디가라 깨치키치키 아니 베테야 이나 하기 아랑기 뭐 에 가지게 배 준동에 어다 즉 따지 땜바만이 봐 미다베 켄데기 가래 지가나 즉 하기 나라도 딴진디 미다바야니 양도 사무타바이나 즉 미다바들라 가르서다 하기 뭐 니바 젠도이 코 유겐 니바 제비켄기 코 간데 미다바치다 깨지 랑 트르비상이니 코페 깨sam이니 베 몬준롱이 미다바 타모 어때 띠 섬다메나 수수규라 단진은 누구야 아니 단진은 내나 단진 지점 지충으로 지원서래 취제라 내신 된게 인데기 펜다요 거 되게 미다바 겐 아니 미다바 겐 니베 겐 가르레 유현제 미다베켄 뉴베켄 어떻게 버리고 다는데 이제 맞다면
and cause and conditions or cause and effect interdependence. If you go more kind of closer, look more closer, then the cause itself can be categorized into two: the immediate cause, and the conditions or factors, and then and the conditions and factors. Second one itself can be also categorized into factor of ability and impermanence. So factor of ability or potential, I guess. For example, to be considered as a fire, whatever object has to have a power of burning something. If that phenomena lacks the power of burning or heat, that object is not considered as a fire. Therefore, to identify the object, that object has to have the ability to kind of consider that object as a whatever object it is. So another example would be if you squeeze sand, we don't get oil, because we know that sand doesn't have by nature have ability or has a potential, or to give oil. So you have to squeeze the seed which has oil in order to get oil. And the second one, the impermanence. Impermanence, when you look closer, still can be categorized into momentary changes and sudden changes. And still, when you look closer, you can there are some phenomena which changes or which become impermanent because of the lack of causes and factors. And then there are some impermanent phenomena which from the very beginning keeps changing and changing. So there are many different levels of impermanence. And so the stronger understanding you have of impermanence, the less you will have grasping to permanent. So therefore, more interest or more kind of you will feel the importance of the practice of Dharma. So that way, it helps. If you have a good understanding of impermanence, it will make you kind of more serious practitioner.
Oda sumba dela yo me bikin la. Yo me bikin la de gala chik danda nilu lonja ngazon jung dengen dezo chik thamba da wanju da kemju jiden jeba boteni gi je shakyo mayimba rarangi yudingi yuleteni jungwa de hago goares kanje jiden jeba boka ge ora de.
Yes. And third factor or condition is unfluctuating or non-fluctuating or non-changing. Here, basically, this factor refers to whatever phenomena that exists. It is a result of the cause and conditions, and it is not created by somebody like, say, Brahma or God. Yes.
Oda duschini tindi indugala ken sungi duschini sunguda. Ta ti oda duche yingi tendel de tendisi. Tini chada chajin chada chajin zindi chashi chajin di chashi lateni chadi jagora. Chajin lateni chaji. Jida te sotonjone ko jamada 찬들이 차전들이 생긴데 된 자원인데 이어 말했어. 다두기 좀 되긴 네 차전데 네 차셔데 다두지 인데긴지 된 자원인이요 말해. 매야데 거 세고 하고다. 이 천리버게 대버도다 천리버게 다시 땅 두고 와래. 땅에 거기 제디 가라 배나 이 뭐버지 태연도 가라 네 말아버지 생이벌 생이벌 하고 와. 디를 라지 답하기 민경 따요 점지 당연 땐들 타모디 생리 받단다 라고 말해. 딘디 야가르게 생리 받 첨보지기 그 기바 첨보지 야름 주진도 생리 받기 유구튀요네 배 생리 받기 답하기 따제다네 잠다지 체연데가 이 유구튀디 답에 이제래 낭비 체디기 유구투 투사르마도 진다 투투서 말해. 남 생리 받아 거기 따제다네 때에 직 배나 풍부 말한도 가사들이 세용되가라 가사데 강래 미래 나래 제래 가래 루이 나는 파사용네 미라보다 하고 와라 생리바 이나양 라지 풍부 시험 말한테 따배 나잠지라 되게 민때 따잠기 배 가사기 자지 저 투바리 생리바 단다 하고 와 말해 근데 아마고 인상 제상 직 남배기 몸불루두고 답하게 직 하기 때는 밥 시작해 직 민경 따여 점기 당연 참어대 다 우마대 동이 털도 됐대 차디요 다마 나기 냠는 적이네 이 어설대 때 차디요 이 삼당 이 삼은 마돈나 나기 하기 에세싱인데 삼당사 라그 말에 보다 딘디 저대가라 제가 생리바기 딘상은 남배출라 직 하기 떠나 제거의 규정지 대바 두고 그러니까 오늘 저는 아주 직 남짓도 두기에나 직 생리박이 다시 땅 미투지 사실이라 무슨 남 점된데기 다시 땅에 뒤지 때는 밥샤야레스 고물루두다 아니 사기 캔다 다와다 바다 정말라마 똥가 버지 뭐 보다 되게 디 남짓 할래야지 차대요레스
Three types of conditions: unchanging condition or non-fluctuating condition, impermanent condition, and then effective condition, which are used in condition of ability or potential condition. Then going to the another type of interdependence, it's part and the main body. So here this refers to the when we talk about this is the main body and this is the part of the body, these two are interdependent. We cannot kind of establish the independent existence of one thing without depending on other. Because of the part, this is the main object. Because of the main body, there is a part. So these two, the existence of these two are interdependent. It's rely upon each other. So up to here, we can say that the scientific experiment can reach and understand, but beyond that, scientists still has to go through more investigation of finding the nature of the phenomena. And one of the great scientists from India mentioned that to His Holiness that when scientists experiment and investigate, and they keep on investigating, and when they reach to the last point and they couldn't do any more, at that point it seems that the Buddhist philosophy is helping them to kind of continue and do more investigation. So here, for example, we can look at the person or the self. Scientists knows that when we talk about I and person and me, we couldn't find where that person is. If you try to pinpoint, the person, the eye is not person, nose is not person, hand is not person. These all are parts of the body. It's not person by itself. But they understand that. But they don't understand that the eye is simply the designation on the all these parts together, put together. It's simply a label or simply a designation. They don't understand that. So, so this kind of labeling of name, labeling for the gathering of different parts of the body. This is a very kind of subtle subtle truth established by beginning from Buddha and then Nagarjuna. And also in the tantric practice, we call this clear light consciousness. So therefore, we are here discussing about something which kind of scientists haven't found yet. Discussing about the nature of the emptiness and how by nature they are empty, and empty of what. And these, of course, are great logical investigation of Buddha, Nagarjuna, and all those previous Buddhist scholars.
Wadate mungula jagalayan science ki chondi choti gala jagar ki science pachi dis sung jarmachera. Te ngi dus nangba sangi bi gumbu luju ki phage telam bag cha chi tongni ki phage telam bag cha ge chi lo tu ye kong la ta pe lo jamden de jin la fe ne lo tu ki kong la ta tu ki jugu gumbu luju chumbare gumbu luju ki ta pe telam bag cha jo nga pe samata ta ne mara di gala gumbu luju ki phage tongni ko la cham cha ge pe cha ji je song te thong du gala tin sang nga zu pe phage ni janshen da ne ta je ta ya te dang gumbu luju ki te ti ki ta je ta ya ko pe janshen da te ne pe mya che ne pe ta thiri ki thu je mya che ne samata de phage ti sha kyo ni pe ji ba ji kyang du Tadung Tegala Mazugan, Tarum Marak Mambuji, Dinan Tarum Rayadu, the thing to Gala, Gumbulu see the Tendishi, Mone, mean Namjo Jinjidan, Tede, Hali Ajazre, Compe Shiuji, Dichon Sons. In Jormuji Tisigala, Luduki Tape, Tower, Haler is in it, Yanayandu, Sunade, that day to war. What are they in Jugala? Marasu Tati, Jugunun, killing in Chariot. What are they killing each other? Did Sunshine get the Casa to G, long nation, then it took Tower the catch more.
And also one of the great Indian scientists, he approached to His Holiness, and he mentioned that he did a lot of investigation in his field, and then finally he found the one text composed by Nagarjuna, and in that text he saw exactly kind of same conclusion that what he has been doing for many years, investigation, and his investigation is based on scientific technology, tools, microscope. But at that time, Nagarjuna doesn't have all this technology, but he still managed to reach to the point where he found the reality of phenomena. Therefore, he was really surprised, amazed to see how Nagarjuna himself was highly intelligent. And then His Holiness kind of mentioned to him of course, Nagarjuna is considered as one of the best scholar. So we are considered as kind of the follower of Nagarjuna's philosophy. So we should be kind of study or practice as much as we can, so that we can generate kind of same level of interest or understanding.
What I mean, Tayo some tendency in it is some Manzulumpenala Jalkawi Guti Windem Chini Guguduas. Jasa Windem Thovne, Dijigalata Jini Takola, Presidency Agitayani Be Governance and the Chagur Mata. When the Mata Gola Chagmida, Min Kampo Sanji, that mean Tigi, Pe, Kope, Nuba Chasang Yoji, Chetuguda, Tigita, Chungur is. In Yang Tayo some tendency in it. They Tamochadio. Digita, this Samadani, that only gave back in Yang Tayo some Nilu Sinjimalope, Ditoni, Potu Gores. The Pesangeles.
And the another interdependence is simply based on the designation or labeling interdependence, and this is considered as most subtlest interdependence. And here we can cite the example of a president of nation. Because of becoming a president and in labeling somebody as a president, he can do a lot of things. And so this is a one kind of approach, understanding this kind of simply a designation, understanding this and then using a same kind of knowledge to other phenomena. One can also reach to the understanding of complete emptiness of phenomena.
Oda the Indigalata, Korambe, Dinala Karsungarazana, Sherab Mena, Mime Parol Chingandi, Zobechanju, Topra Minipe, Taptan Denging, Korsum Midope, Sherabumba Gasalin, that because Tondadi, Kondo Shechak and Nilsuganga, that didn't Luni Sunshares.
Going back to the text by Mujotome Sambu, we are on verse 30. Perfection of charity, patience and morals, absorption and effort alone won't suffice. Without the perfection of wisdom, these five are unable to bring us to full Buddhahood. With the methods of pure bodhicitta develop the wisdom to see that the act, and the acted upon lack inherent existence. The sons of the Buddhas all practice this way. The other translation, it is the practice of bodhisattvas to cultivate the wisdom that possesses method and does not differentiate the three spheres, subject, object, and action. For if wisdom is lacking, one will be unable to achieve complete Buddhahood by means of the five other perfections.
sherab mena mi men parol chingadi mi bu me ba chanju number rima yin sire tonda chi bare sherab mena ani karaseta chi mi me badan rabore mi mengenji pa chi karsore chilol rotu marwa jesa chi sherab gi namju digi ani be chi kuruwe parol don roala sherab gi namju du gure sherab de sherab gi yina sherab mena mi me parol chingadi mi bu me bar chanju number rima yin jesa mi mena ani be ko rabdu namje gi sherab digi mi tabu de me ayina chanchu thogu mare se la jasan chanchu yanda ba zobe sagi ko ban thabala sherab de gugore ani dina karsuna sherab mana parul chinga dis sherab men me bayina ani be jimbani tang suling ki paru de jimba ngala soba nyamlen cheba yina yang selare zobe chanchu thogu mare thogu mare la tingone rawa 거기 좁아 야고 차그래 군주 야고 차그래 손은 랍침부지 사두 그래 다지 짐발라 담바 출림 zoba 곰바 소바 네베 something 띵인지 곰나티 딱 직선에 디긴 된두 그래 이나양 코로나에 쫓두고 말해 상기 고방 쫓두고 말해 이 가르잖아 코로나 라 코르 중에 간지 머리 바 투투 징인데 능인데 다 동이 또 따와도 차디요. 동이 또 베셔랍도 차디요. 제가 이 동이 또 베셔랍되기 단지 머리를 넣어. 단지 머리 받지 समझी ने चेने 코랄레 트로트 거래. 대순 거. 인디 가나다 직 바게 인디지데 답답되지. 코스 미도베 셔랍 공부하게 살아린. 오다 답게 되는 면에 직 코스 미도바서 되가라. 직다 베나 짐바데지 베나 Jimba Tancheki, any be Zedia, Dembarmepa. Any Pa Tango Yude, Dembarmepa. Tambo Borangi get Dembarmepa. Tendigi Samana, Korsumitopa, Korsumimi Pase. What a Tendigi, any Chawa Kandiji, Lega Gavich Kandiji Chivena. What a Korsumimi with Zimbabone, any Dichivane, Sheriff Zimbabone, Dichivena, Tachik, Yassichanju Sevelan is the race.
In the other text, the brief sutra, Doduba, and that text also, says that if without the wisdom is like a blind, it's like a blind person. Without wisdom, one cannot liberate from the cyclic existence. Without wisdom realizing emptiness, one won't be able to. There is no way that one can achieve, enlightenment or Buddhahood. Same thing is saying here in verse 30. Says that it is practice of Bodhisattva to cultivate the wisdom that possesses method and does not differentiate the three spheres. For if wisdom is lacking, one will be unable to achieve complete Buddhahood by means of the 5 other perfections. So the 5 other perfections, beginning from generosity to perfection of discipline, if you have a good practice of all these, you will have a peaceful life, peaceful mind. You will have a happiness. You will accumulate immense positive merits. But these won't help you to liberate from a samsara. To achieve a Buddhahood, or here says complete Buddhahood, one has to have a practice of perfections. And what is the wisdom here mentioned briefly? It does not differentiate the 3 spheres: subject, object, and action. For example, when you practice the generosity, one has to have an understanding that all 3 spheres of the generosity doesn't have an inherent existence, and these 3 are, here is subject, object, and action. When you give something to others, whatever object you give, the object that doesn't have an inherent existence, and whoever you are giving to, that person doesn't have an inherent existence, and the giver yourself doesn't have an inherent existence. If you have an understanding of this, and then practice whatever. Say generosity, discipline, effort, then your practice is the practice of the wisdom. So this is the practice of the Bodhisattva.
Oda dushin dindijil taj jachanas. And sangin
And we will stop here. And next, from verse 31, we will go much quicker than today. We don't have a second class, right? So, any questions?
To repeat everything you
Sungyo samu gone jigla rochi das.
Diesel dangsar ves.
I meant just the last little part.
Tamadi la rochi das. Which last part? Which?
Last little part where you explain what emptiness is. I'll get to
Yeah.
I've been thinking about this for a while. Since, like, they're saying there's no I, me, we. How would you, in English, refer to yourself, or how would you think about yourself?
Dinal soso ngada de nik ne chigne la de chorwa. Dame de ani kawal munji chigo resa.
Karse.
Tami da nagu da pungu meo chorwa. Pungu meo suna ani ngala de ko jinu munji chigo resa.
Meade page shere nimbe nala ni me name cheme lumi me zume dame time rome raja me sigdwa. This here the color. Remember to be me me re te jandana gajal tandam kebar. Re jandana khod thi mampo chhado res. Tija page nim ko ni shudam jaranji ni tuba me do ste teni do ste message wa. Gajal tandam kebar mu sujawa ta majawa te teni ore. Me say the remember to be me message lag res. Kontala?
The yoga the condition munji chigo resa.
Yoade?
No.
당연히 동화서 통구도 강가 요하대. zembar madum naya chik thagi migi jaje ngaso che thugare thanye te samji thanye migi karsa niwang degi daki wambo degi yul zone yul den thugara thanye te samji to be a me say the zembar to ba me sigora.
So when we say it doesn't exist, the Heart Sutra, it says no I, no body, form, and nothing. All this is referring to lack of true existence. Not saying that it doesn't exist at all, but eye, nose, all parts of body doesn't have a true inherent existence. But these all exist at the conventional level because we see that these all are, because of the eye organ we can see and we, kind of perceive, we understand, and these all function at the conventional level but doesn't exist at the, ultimate or doesn't have an inherent existence. So we can say that conventionally they exist but not, at the ultimate level.
Message la guarda ani pangwa chena
ase
Rave
kove jingan zu bendan dewa mali jongwe ne jere singwan tenzin yazo yin shabe sinze kato tenjo je jampal kawe jidara jemba kundo zangbo tenyan dijin do deda kungi jeso nalo jin yewa deda tamje rabdo ngu tuzuman shabe yewa tamje Owa gangla jodo ngabo de na jin yebe zawa de genja sangbo juje rabdo ngorai. Inside the Vaishnava white mountains, the source of all happiness and benefits flows in your person, changes it in your so remain until samsara ends. Just as the Bodhisattva usually attain omniscience and Samanda Bhasha too. So now I do dedicate these merits to train and following their footsteps. As the Buddhas are past, present, and future, their days, generations, and So now I just do today these ones to try to perfect their actions.
Thank you.